Actually, the journey is more important than the event itself, believe me. For us, the fun is in the journey of training together, understanding how we are going to do it. My advice would be to take one thing at a time. Why people do not succeed is because they put too many challenges in one go. Hello everybody, my name is Chandra Gopalan. I am a marathon and an ultra marathon runner. I have two hats. On one side, I'm a runner, avid runner. On the other side, I also own a chain of gyms, particularly for women. These gyms are only for women. Brand name is Contours. So I have been in the fitness industry for the last 15 years. And during the 15 years, I've also trained myself into running marathons and ultra marathons. I'm a senior person. I'm over 60. My fitness level is still very good thanks to the last 15-20 years of avid training that I have done.
Hello everyone, my name is Srikanth. I am the host of the show Inspire Someone Today. This podcast brings in personalities from a cross-section of our society who will share their perspectives, learnings, hacks and experiences that can inspire all of us in our journeys. Come, join me on this ride. So Chandra, excited to have you on this show.
Thank you for having me here, Srikanth.
I'm at loss of words to kind of introduce you. Are you a business person, a senior citizen, or an ultra marathoner? What to do go with?
Well, I'm all of it. The age just happened to go along. I didn't know much about it. But yes, I have worked very hard towards being physically very fit, mentally very strong, because unless you're mentally strong, you won't be able to do the distances that I have been doing. I have done several distances of 100 kilometer plus, many runs like that, 24-hour runs, 36-hour runs, 48-hour runs. Even run along with my group. I've done a Bangalore to Chennai run, multi-day run. So yes, that requires not just physical fitness, but also a lot of mental strength. So I've built it along the way. The age just happened.
Yeah. So rightly so. Age is just a number and you are a personification of that. At the age of 60, you did a 48-hour run covering 208 plus kilometers. Tell us about your journey. Where did it all start and what drives you to do what you are doing?
Well, to be honest, I've always been very attracted by sports and physical fitness. I've never been a very academically oriented person, never been good at studies, but this part of it was very attractive for me. But yes, grew up in a generation where sports was never encouraged by your parents, was told to study, and somehow life got along, got married, had children. So I actually started on this fitness journey at a pretty later age. I must say I started really at the age of 35 or 32 to 35 when I really started working out. I doing workouts by myself, running a bit, doing those kind of things. There was no structured training at those days. I was just doing it. Then along the way, a little time passed, gyms started coming up, really good ones. And then I joined a good gym. I became an avid gym person. I would strength train myself every day, became supremely physically fit. And then suddenly this running journey started, I think in around year 2004, about 16 years back, when marathons themselves had just started in India. Marathons themselves were quite nascent in India. Because I was so physically fit, I was able to start doing good amount of distances, the half marathon, the 21 kilometer distance. Then slowly I ramped it to the 42 kilometers. So these two journeys were going alongside. And somewhere along the way, I started my own fitness chain of gyms. So that also got me more into fitness because then I had to manage my gyms, manage the whole operational part of it, training members. So it was completely in the fitness field. So then I moved from 42, about year 2008. Bangalore in 2007, they had their first ultra marathon. I tried a 50 kilometer distance in 2008, which is considered ultra. An ultra marathon is anything above that 42.2 kilometers, which you do in a marathon.
Okay. So anything above a normal marathon is ultra marathon.
No, it normally starts with 50 kilometers, then it's 75, 100 or anything above. So Yeah, so I did the 50 kilometers in 2008, and then it kept grading it up. By 2010, I had done 75. By 2013, I did 100 kilometer.
So
And
this is in one go. So for the benefit of lot of the
yes,
listeners,
yes, it's
not
one
sure
go.
about what
Yeah,
50 or 100 is in
yeah.
one go.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You don't, there are no breaks.
Wow.
Then the 100 took me about 17 hours. Then scaled it up further to 24-hour runs. So then it became more time based. So how much, whatever you can do in a 24-hour run. So also side by side, we were getting these events that were happening in Bangalore and in other parts of the country. So then the 24-hour runs happened, then came a 36-hour run, then came a 48-hour run. So started slowly grading and attempting all of them. And then somewhere in 2018, we for a long time wanted to do a multi-day run. A multi-day run is a different challenge. You don't do it in one go, but you do huge amount of distances every day. You sleep in the nights. But the point is you keep doing it over 4 5 days. So that's a different challenge for the body because the muscles are very sore and you got to get up and run again with sore muscles. You just don't finish it off. You just have to keep going that way. So that was a different challenge. So we took up the Bangalore to, when I say we, I do it with a group, Bangalore to Chennai, which took us about 4.5 days, barring the nights, the days only. So things like that. So distances just kept growing.
This is insane stuff. And Chandra, I'm sure along with these runs, it has given you a lot of life lessons as well. Anything that you would want to kind of share that kind of comes top of your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think running or your strength training or keeping yourself fit is not just only for your body. I have learned this long back that when you're physically fit, when your body starts feeling supremely fit in the sense you don't have any aches, pains, you're able to do your activities of daily life very easily and keep going till night and not even feel stressed about it. What happens is your mind really opens up. Then the mind starts thinking that I am now, then you become supremely confident. You feel very good about yourself because your body is feeling so good at that point in time that you start feeling supremely confident. And once that confidence comes in, then you're able to do a lot of things. I was able to handle stress so well. I mean, nothing was stressful for me. I mean, all of us have challenges in life. Who doesn't? But
Mhm.
nothing was ever stressful for me. Work wise, also, I'm an entrepreneur running a chain of gyms. It wasn't easy. There are always ups and downs in
Right.
businesses, as you know. But somehow I felt if I can go out there and conquer 100 kilometer distance, believe me, when you do a run like that, after a while, your body kind of slows down, it gets tired, it gets fatigued. We are also not machines, we are humans. So we got to keep refueling the body, keep going on because you have trained for it. So you're able to do it. It's physically very, very exhausting. But at the end of it, when you tell yourself, listen, if I could do this, I can probably do anything in life, which nothing should really feel daunting for me anymore. So that is the advantage I feel that I have got out of physical fitness. It's not only running, it's just keeping your body fit and fine. It gives you the supreme courage and confidence to face anything in life, believe me.
Mhm. So a healthy body is a healthy mind.
Absolutely. I cannot even tell you the advantages of the mental strength that physical fitness brings in. It's
So let's
simply
talk a little more about it, Chandra. We are talking about physical fitness. We are also talking about the benefits of the mental side of it. And more so during these current pandemic times, the stress is more on mental fitness as well. Can you kind of elaborate a bit more on some benefits of it and what more can be done to bolster that piece of one's health?
Yeah, I would think this is the best time for people if they are not already into physical fitness to start. Because right now, I know people have got busier, but it also, this is the time to start because this is a time that you need a good amount of mental stimulation because everybody is sitting indoors and people are feeling a little low because they're not able to meet others. So you need your mind to keep going. Why do we say physical fitness gives you mental benefit is because every time you use your muscles and you use your body to do any activity, the body itself releases adrenaline into it. Adrenaline is a chemical that makes you feel happy. It's a feel good hormone. You start feeling good about yourself. And I can give this to you in writing. Anybody who is sedentary, who does nothing, just starts 15 minutes of walking a day, 15 minutes of yoga. You don't have to do something great initially, and then keep scaling it up slowly. You will start feeling better already. And it's only because this hormone is being constantly released into your body. So you start feeling better. So in this pandemic, I think everybody now have saved up on travel time, at least use a little bit of that time to get going on something that is makes you physically active. It does not need necessarily been running or picking up weights and doing some gym training. Anything that suits you. If you're a player, then go out and play a game, walk, do yoga, do whatever you can, but move your body. The body is meant to move. Primarily, the body is not meant to sit in a place for long periods of time. That's how the human body has been built. And much as our lives have changed today, we have got all the comforts inside our home, and hence we do not move as much as we used to. You should make it a point of at least pumping up your heart rate. When we say physical activity, it means any activity that actually increases your heart rate and gets in more oxygen flow into your body. So when you start pumping up your heart, you invariably get breathless. Let it be weight training also. You lift heavy weights and do a few exercises, you do get breathless because of the resistance you're putting on the muscles and the sheer difficulty of doing that activity. So any activity you do this way, where you're pumping up your heart rate, really, really does wonders for the body. And it can start with just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and the body is hugely adaptable. So it adapts to any activity very well, and you can slowly scale it up. You don't have to do 1 hour from day one. But what it does is it really, really makes you come alive. That's the word I have to use, that you just feel alive. You feel like, if you feel like a completely different and brighter person.
Makes you come alive. That's a good word, good phrase to use. And again, you have also been a successful businesswoman running chain of gyms. Any success stories that is out there? People who came in not wanting to hit the gym, and now they cannot stay at home, not coming to the gym.
Yeah, of course. My biggest success stories, I would always think, are not the people who have lost weight in my gym. So losing weight is a byproduct of what you're doing. That really is, that automatically will happen. But my biggest success stories from my gyms are the women, this particularly aged women who probably came in to enroll their daughter, and we encouraged them to join the gym. And these women have had tremendous success in the gym in terms of improving their health. They've had health issues which are now negligible. I have seen them on day one, and I see them today, and I see how much they have improved, to the extent that I have a 69-year-old lady who can do a 5-minute plank in my gym today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Could you repeat that again?
she's a 69-year-old lady, and she does a 5-minute plank. She's been working out with us for many years, but the point is, nothing can stop you from doing these things. Like you rightly said, age is a number. Don't think that because you're senior, you can't do something as well as a younger person. It's a matter of training your body to go there. Yes, having said that, it is also true that as we age, we cannot be as agile. That is the word I would use, as agile. Our joints do not move as easily as a younger person. What I could do at the start of my running career in terms of my speed, I cannot do today. That I agree. Some things you got to accept. You cannot beat age. None of us can beat age. But because I started early, I'm able to do a lot of things today which younger people probably cannot do. So my point is, keep going at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, and you will see, whatever your age may be, you will improve tremendously, and there is nothing to stop you from being almost as good as a younger person who's equally active.
Great. Start small, be consistent, keep at it. And we also touched upon the physical aspect of it and also the mental aspect of it.
Yes.
But there's also one other element would need to have that magic wand from you, which is the inner voice. While we all know that going to the gym or exercising is great for physical body, mental strength, all of those things. But there is that inner voice within you saying that not today. Maybe this is not the time for you to do exercises. So how do you overcome those inner voice?
Yeah, the we've always found the challenges, even with our own members or even with your own experience, the challenges in the first maybe 3 to 5 days is very, very challenging because you've never done this before. You're probably a late riser, and now you suddenly one day you want to get up at probably 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, and that itself is a challenge. So my advice would be to take one thing at a time. Why people do not succeed is because they put too many challenges in one go. For example, they would probably, if they are getting up every day at 7 o'clock, suddenly one day they want to get up at 6. That is the first challenge they got to overcome. So, how are you going to do that? So, maybe for 2, 3 days, just practice not hitting the snooze button as soon as the alarm rings. Just practice stopping the alarm and getting out of bed at that particular time. And believe me, this has worked wonders with our own members. 3 days of getting up at the same time. Don't even come to the gym. If you're feeling lazy, just get up, go down, have a cup of tea, do what you want. But get into the habit of getting up at that time. Number one. Once you've achieved that, then start the activity you wish to start. But start slow. What I have seen is people come with these, especially during New Year's, they have these great resolutions. So they'll have these to do lists, and there will be five of them. I'm going to get up 2 hours early. I mean, I'm going to get up at 5 o'clock. I'm going to go out there and do 1 hour of a workout. Number two, I'm going to already start cutting down on my diet. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to sleep early. If you're going to put so many challenges on yourself, your lifestyle cannot change in a single day or a single week. That is why people do not stick to routines, because they put too many challenges on themselves. My advice is take one challenge at a time. If your first challenge is to get up early, practice getting up early. Second challenge, when you come and do a workout, start slow. It does not matter. Start 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Do not think that I have paid to the gym, so I got to go there and do 1 hour. Do not equate it with money. Please first get into the habit of doing things slow. Once you've started working out and once that has set in into your life, then look at your diet and see, okay, how now can I clean this up? Have I been eating too much junk? Don't try and do everything in one day. I mean, you are also not a superhuman who can just change your life overnight. So do things slowly, and you'll slowly see everything will fall in place. And believe me, when people start working out and they see good results, they themselves start eating healthy because they do not want to negate all the good things that they have put into their body. And automatically that lifestyle changes. Because you get up early, you sleep early, you start eating healthy, you work out better. So let your body take its time. Do not force things on the body.
Right. I think there's no magic mantra there. It took so many years of practice for Chandra to hit a 48-hour run. It didn't happen overnight.
Exactly. Nothing happens overnight.
I think there's also a very interesting parallel between runs and the way of life as well, right? You did stress upon how you prepared for the 48-hour runs or the 50-kilometer runs. So tell us a bit about the importance of having a goal and also visualization around it.
Yeah. For example, the 48-hour run. We knew it's a tough challenge to take up. Of course, we had done up to the 36 hours. So when you take up a challenge like this, of course, where the fundamental thing that you need to do is train towards it, obviously. So the training would go on for 6 months for an event like this. We would train at least for 6 to 7 months. So how do we do it? We start with small runs. When we say small in our perspective, that'll be a 3 hour run. Start from 3, go to 4, go to 5. We also don't start overnight suddenly doing 12-hour runs. We also scale it up. We pull back 1 week to give the body some rest. We have rest weeks, then go up again. So primarily we do not scale up more than 10 to 15% week on week. We take our time because the body has to acclimatize to this kind of training. But the thing is, you do your best. So the idea is go out there, and if you can do your best in 3 hours, 2 times, take a break, come back. Now you're going to do 4 hours, put in your best. When I say best, all of us are not at the same speed. All of us don't have the same endurance. So we all do whatever best we can. Now, there is no crime saying that I'm a runner and suddenly in between I walked. It is not a crime. Believe me, it is actually sensible to do it because time to time, if you give your running muscles some rest and walk a bit, you're actually doing more justice to the body because you can keep going for a longer period of time. Now, our goal is to go for 48 hours. Of course, when I say 48 hours, it doesn't mean we run 48 hours because we have to have our breaks for eating. We have to keep refueling ourselves. We have medical breaks where they keep checking our parameters because you cannot keep running. The organizers are also very, very strict about constantly checking you. It is not, you know how dangerous it can be. That's number two. Then you have to have your toilet breaks. Then we do take some amount of rest because they say the organizers will say if it's a 48-hour run that you got to be on the track for 40 or 42 hours. So
Mhm.
the 6 hours or whatever the organizers tell you is given to you as your whatever you want to do in that time. So it depends how people take that time, and we also pace ourselves. Now we are not sprinters. If I start sprinting from R1, I will be burnt out by R6. So you got to start thinking, how am I going to last those 48 hours? How am I going to pace myself so that I last that long? 40 hours or 42 hours. So you got to think accordingly. So every time we go out, we train accordingly. We eat accordingly. We also train our body to accept food every 3 hours. We train our body to nourish itself every 3 hours, fuel itself, and then run again. Even in our longest run, which for the 48-hour run, we have probably done a 20 on one day and a 10 the next day, 30 hours of running. We did practice like we would practice in an event. How am I going to sustain this? So when am I going to eat? So the whole purpose of training is to not go there and prove that it is event day, but to understand when you're going down, in what period of time are you going down? Is it the afternoons? Is it the evening? Is it the night? So how am I going to overcome it next time? That is the whole purpose of training. So it requires a lot of training to do this. But having said that, yes, on race day, things can still go wrong. I'm not saying it, I mean, it could just not happen the way you train. But it's chances are that because you're well trained, you will be able to sustain that amount of running. So the preparation for a run, so for us, actually, the journey is more important than the event itself, believe me. For us, the fun is in the journey of training together, understanding how we are going to do it, how we train together. If at the end of this, suppose on race day something happens and you have to probably miss the race day, anything that happens in your life and you just cannot go there and do the event, it's okay. I still feel I have trained for this 48-hour run, and that journey was so much more important than the actual event itself for most of us. So that's how we train, and everything falls in place if you're consistent. And we have had failures. I mean, every day is not the same. There are some days which go very well, some days your legs just don't move. And you have these
Mhm.
miserable days when you feel, what is wrong with me? Why am I not going the same way as I did last time? Happens to each of us. That's okay. So that's the purpose of training. You come back from these experiences understanding what exactly went wrong that day. Why did it go wrong? How can I improve this next time? So that's what we do. So
And how would the power of visualization, how has it helped you in this process?
yeah, all of us have our own targets for the day, internal targets, and we keep it with ourselves. We tell our coach, and we start. And visualization is something we have learned through the training, that you visualize a long run breaking up into small, small brackets. So we
Mhm.
think of the first 3 hours. In the first 3 hours, I have this much target. This is how I'm going to pace myself per hour. And at the end of the 3 hours, this is what I'm going to eat to refuel myself. And probably whatever else I have to do, I will do. And then I restart for the next 3 hours. I'm not thinking of next day what is going to happen or the next day, because a 48-hour run is 2 days. If I start thinking that far ahead, what happens is when my body is beaten and tired after 10 or 12 hours of running, you will go mentally down thinking, oh, good God, I have another 30 hours to go. So
Right.
you shouldn't, I mean, we have been trained to think for the moment, for the next 3 hours. And then if you're tired, it's fine. Go take a break. You will always come back from the break stronger. Because and this is why we say running is a metaphor for life. Because just as you have ups and downs in life, it's the same with running. Just when you feel that you're beaten up and fatigued and you cannot go anymore, if we persist at whatever speed we can, we suddenly do see this sudden renewed energy coming back into the body. So we've seen so many ups and downs in our own runs that we are so easily able to translate it to our lives and say, hey, this happens all the time. Anything that goes down does just comes up again and then goes down again. So we've learned it that way. So
So running as metaphor for life.
yeah, absolutely.
So Chandra, you have been doing all of these runs, running your own business chains, being a mother, wife, inspirer for the community. If somebody were to come to you and say, Chandra, we want to write a book on you, what would you name that book as?
Well, I wouldn't want anybody to write a book on me. I don't think there are thousands of runners who are out there doing the same thing I'm doing and
Mhm.
equally well or even better. There are very senior women abroad who are doing amazing, extremely enduring events. I mean, I can't even tell you they do cross country runs and all that at ages of 75 plus. So I'm very inspired by those women. Yes,
You are our own inspiration, so we definitely want to look up to somebody within our own community as well. Cool. So continuing on that, Chandra, if there is an inspired someone today message for all the listeners out there, what would be your 2 or 3 messages for the folks there?
I would say don't fear pain and injury. I feel most times people stop doing something thinking that they're going to probably get injured. So do not preempt things, go out there and do things. Remember, the body is very self healing. And if the body can do much more than you think it can, it's your mind that stops your body from doing most of the things that you want to do. So strengthen your mind and do the things you want to do. Don't let it stop you. Number two, be consistent with what you do and give your 100% to what you do. It's a lot of hard work. Be prepared to work hard and achieve good results. Nothing comes easy, believe me. And number three, I would say every day that you live, you should be a better version of yourself.
Wow, be a better version of yourself every day that you. That's a very profound message out there, Chandra. Cool. Is there any final story that you would want to share, any experiences that you would want to share before we kind of call it as close on this interesting conversation?
Well, I was just thinking about how I mean, this came to mind because how we perceive things. Like, for example, when we did the Bangalore Chennai run, and I knew we had to run through a lot of remote areas because obviously we had to cross a lot of villages and finally go to Chennai. So, my first thought when I started on day one, just before we started, was hey, let me not wear my gold chain and earrings and stuff like that. God knows. I mean, there are points in time when you will be alone. Not everybody is at the same pace. And I don't want to expose myself to danger because I'm going through these little rural places and I don't know what will happen. And my eyes and mind just opened up as we were going through this journey because I saw that the rural folks were the best people that you could encounter. They were so friendly, so good. They were staring at us curiously, of course, because they had not seen some runners running like this with backpacks and running across on the road like that. But they were curious, yes. But they were, some of them were very nice. They came, they spoke to us. They wanted to know, why are you people running? Why are you running in this heat? Tamil Nadu is hot. And can we get you something? One person even came and told me, please come to my house and meet my mother and things like that. They were really nice. And I realized the danger was when we reached Chennai. Those city folks were the ones who were really, oh my God, the traffic and the people. And they were cursing us for running on the road. And we were getting such wild remarks coming from people that I realized that how we perceive things and how things really are so very different. It was just it was a real eye opener for me that, you shouldn't prejudge people like this.
Excellent. So, Chandra, on that nice note, thank you so much for being on here, sharing your life experiences, talking to our folks on the necessity of building physical and mental strength and the importance of goals and visualization. Thank you so much, Chandra.
Thank you for having me, Shrikant. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening into today's edition of Inspire Someone Today. It's been a privilege to bring in these conversations If you like this episode and have any feedback or comments, do mail me at inspiresomeonetodaypodcast@gmail.com. Inspiring someone is like creating ripples around us. If you like what to listen, feel free to share them and let's create ripples of inspiration. Do not forget to follow me on my Instagram handle @InspireSomeoneTodayPodcast for all the latest updates. This is Srikanth, your host, signing off, and until next time, keep inspiring.